Hey, what is going on, Feral Community? It is Blue. We are back with another video. We are looking at the new set bonuses, which are really exciting. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at the set bonuses on here. We're going to go ahead and jump into PTR and get a feel for how they're working. And then I kind of want to talk about something else that I see happening with Feral Druid. Some good things, some bad things. But overall, very, very good things. But yeah, I'm excited about it. Let's jump into it. So we're going to get right here. Class set design, armor, or set armor bonuses in Season 1 had relatively low impact on gameplay and rotations because we want to give the new talent system room to shine. Sure. And Embers of Neltharion set bonuses have more impacts on your resources, cooldowns, and talents. Some bonuses are enhanced by playing certain talents, and some builds on popular talents in the middle sections of the tree. Throughout these designs, we intend for players to feel able to play the overall build or strategy they prefer. Okay. So here we go for Feral. To set, your auto attacks have a chance to grant Shadows of the Predator. So this is a new buff that we're getting, which is basically just going to increase your agility by 1, and that's going to stack. Now, each application past 5 has an increasing chance to reset to 2. So basically, you think about this stack, you get this random buff that increases agility by 1%. You can think of it as stacking to infinity. It has the capabilities to stack to infinity, not really. On the PTR, I was messing around with it. I got it to be 10 stacks, right? So basically, after 5 stacks, every stack has a higher and higher chance, instead of to continue to stack, to actually reset back to 2. Okay. So for instance, for me, I was able to get it up to 10 stacks, and then once it became to that new application, instead of doing 11, it decided to reset. Now 10 was actually pretty high. It usually resets before then, but still we're getting this increase of agility, which is really wonderful. But then the 4 set's going to assist with that. Instead of our agility jumping around from 10% back to 2%, we get 4 set. So when Shadows of the Predator application resets stacks, so back to 2, you gain 5% increased agility. Okay, so instead of 2, you gain that 5% additional, so you're actually at 7. And you generate 1 combo point every 1.5 seconds for 6 seconds. Okay, so this is really awesome. This as well as the Berserk changes that we had recently that I made a video about, they're going to speed up this spec a lot, and I think it's really, really good that the spec gets sped up. So what I did is I made a weak horse. You guys can track the buff. It's in the middle of the screen. We're just going to go ahead and beat some dummies here. So you're seeing 1 stack here. I do want you guys to know, it's interesting to know, is the new Berserk change is going to give you back combo points. Right now it's not working on the PTR. So if I bite this individual, you're going to see some combo points to give back. Okay? Right there. If I Primal Wrath, you're going to see nothing given back. Okay? Alright, so right there we saw that it stacked to 7. And then it reset back to 2, and now it's going to keep climbing. So what we're going to do is we're going to let it get to 5. We're going to Primal Wrath, and then we're just going to sit, and then we're going to look at the 4 set activation once it activates, and you're going to see that we're going to be getting 4 combo points over 6 seconds. All right, 7 stacks here, 8 stacks. Maybe we'll get to 10. That'd be pretty dope. We're at 9. Or at 10. Okay, and it reset. So now we're going to see we're getting 4 combo points for free. All right, we got our 4 combo points for free. And then it just keeps on going like that. So basically something you just put on, your damage is going to be increased by a significant amount because this is increasing our agility. And then occasionally it's going to reset and just give us combo points, help us speed through rotation faster. So really, really good. So what I want to talk about is playing Feral, and then I've been playing Feral, and then I decided, hey, I'm going to go ahead and start playing a different spec, right? And I picked up Brewmaster. Now, one of the things is when I picked up Brewmaster, I noticed how slow Feral Druid was, and I was like, when I go back to my Feral Druid, I was like, man, the playstyle seems really slow. Now, I think that is an actual dilemma for Feral Druid. And I'm really, really excited that they're speeding it up. Now, with them speeding it up, though, I have another fear that worries me, um, and that's basically the death of blood talons. You know, and that's really unfortunate because I actually like playing blood talons, and I know that's weird to say. So here's something that kind of came to mind when I'm reading the 4 set and I'm seeing more speed to the rotation. Then I'm like, man, the change to Berserk is going to increase the speed of our duration, which is going to really diminish the value of wanting to go Blood Talons. And then reading the new 4 set, which is also going to give you a proc of increasing more combo points, which is also further going to decrease the value of wanting to go Blood Talons. Then made me think about this, and it says, under the surface, it requires a bit of cross-referencing other talents like Pouncing Strikes to figure out what it is doing. And an advanced degree in feral science to determine the best abilities to use in different situations. So the thing for me is, I think that there is a big, and it doesn't really make sense to me, but I think that in people's minds, there's like a wall to overcome when playing feral. It's kind of foreseen as like, hey, feral is kind of a more difficult spec to play. Now, I personally, I don't see that to be true, but I've also been playing for feral for many, many years. I think the thing with feral, though, is it's not a difficult spec to play, but it is a spec that requires weak ores. You got to track stuff. But that's also the same with a lot of other specs. I played, Brewmaster, maybe not so much, but like I picked up Protection Paladin. Protection Paladin has so many different buffs, so you kind of need to be looking at, and you need like weak ores to track them, especially with the Dawn and the Light or whatever the hell that stuff is. So it's just I feel like it is just another spec, not like super difficult, but it requires a lot of weak ores, right? But anyways, beyond that, speeding up the spec, it's going to be diminishing the value, diminishing wanting to go Blood Talons. And I wonder if that is also intentional, because I think Blizzard would like more people to play the spec, more people to jump into an easier spec that they can go ahead and pick it up and perform it decently well. Now the thing with that, and the thing that I feel with killing out Blood Talons, is it no longer makes the spec unique. And for me, I used to kind of mess around with other specs, and there was kind of like a flavor that you got with each different spec. There's different types of flavors that you got. Rotational flavor, or you do this and then this happens, or you press these buttons and this happens, and the way that Feral Druid used to play with Blood Talons, it reminds me very much of like a Windwalker Monk with Mastery, how Mastery works, where you basically don't want to be pressing the same button twice, right? Now, Feral Druid has a lot more forgiveness with that, but they changed Blood Talons so that, hey, you need to press 3 different abilities, right? And it kind of became that Windwalker Monk style. Now, I will say originally I was not a fan of that, but I did very much get used to that play style. And now to me, I think losing Blood Talons is going to lose a lot of the flavor that Feral Druid had given. And it's going to end up becoming a spec, kind of like a lot of other specs now, where you just smash buttons and press buttons. It still obviously has buttons off cooldowns, but I would just say to Blizzard, that, hey, Feral Druid does need sped up. Yes, I think that is an issue. But I would say that maybe, like Blood Talons, it needs to be redesigned in a way that Feral can get some type of flavor back in its kit. Because I think with a sped up spec, it's going to be losing that flavor and kind of just turning into another spec. But that's it. Those are just kind of my thoughts. Overall, don't go Blood Talons, and you're going to have a lot of fun with the spec. It's actually, I'm just kind of a lame person. I think a lot of you guys know I'm very much going Haste Mastery. I really like that bleed style. I'm just looking for something new for Feral Druid. And as I'm like really excited to play something new for Feral Druid, it's kind of turning into more of a blander and blander spec, where I was kind of looking for more. So that's just kind of the dilemma that I'm having currently with my Druid throughout this expansion. that it's like, oh man, I want more from this spec, and yet it's kind of becoming more bland, but better to play though. That's true. So yeah, what I would say is if there hasn't been any changes, definitely go Lion Strength, and you will have fun with your Feral going super, super fast. A speedier playstyle, just also to kind of talk about this, a speedier playstyle means that you're going to be weaving in a lot more bites in between your Primal Wraths, right? Because your Primal Wraths, you needed to do it within a certain time frame, but because we're getting so many combo points more often, you can actually weave bites in between that time frame easily. So that's really exciting. It's going to be a huge increase for our damage. The 4 and 2 set look really, really good. I don't know how good compared to the other specs, but it looks really good. Anything increasing our agility is amazing. But that's it for me. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and have a wonderful day. Peace out.